Family-owned and operated DCD Automotive Holdings announced that they have purchased a pre-owned superstore today on CBT Now. We're discussing the pre-owned market and learning more about the acquisition. Joining me now is Shawn Hanlon, who's the president of Nucar Superstore and also platform president for New Hampshire and Vermont, right?
That's correct.
Shawn, great. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to join us on the show. Very much appreciated. Congratulations on the acquisition. How is, in fact, the used car business today in that market?
I think it's definitely improving. We had industry, I think, had a bumpy November, December, and January with more correction in the market than we've seen in prior years, recent prior years. And I feel like February was definitely put things back on the uptick with used cars and pricing and also with turn rates started to climb.
Okay. And in terms of this acquisition for acquiring a used car operation, is it your vision that or the company's vision to break off, as many bigger players have done, to spin off a used car operation under a different brand?
You know, I think the brand will always remain under Nucar. However, as markets come available and opportunities come available, you know, new cars are definitely our predominant look. If you look at us from a platform. But there's time and again, there's a used car operation that shows up in the mix, and it becomes attractive if it's the right market and the right place and all those things. Sure. And this one was definitely something that we looked at as having some opportunity.
Sure. Talk to us about the used car market right now. It seems to be a little bit of a roller coaster over the course of the last 6 months. 1 minute the values are high, and then the next minute they're not so high. Because of inventory levels now filling the new car franchise lots. Where does it stand today?
You know, it's very much what you just described. I mean, there's a lot of ebb and flow. We work really hard to maintain, you know, not a lot of aging. We maintain turn rates of 30 days or lower, and it became hard last fall. I mean, we saw the market decline more so than we had in the past few years anyway. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's nice to see, though, I feel as I'm looking at the data that it's correcting. So I feel very strongly that we're starting to see, you know, some demand pick up on used, and we're also starting to, you know, move into a season where, you know, new car sales are predicted to be up slightly this year, which again will generate more used. And I think that with the price adjustments that, you know, used cars are becoming a bit more affordable than maybe they were maybe a year ago.
Sure. Speaking of affordability, the average price of a used car is around $35,000, I think, right? Where does that, in some markets anyway, where does that leave you? I mean, this affordability issue is a real issue, not just on the new car side, but now on the used car side.
It is, and I think that you're going to continue to see that that's going to come down because, you know, we're watching manufacturers in some respects, like Stellantis in the last couple of weeks has lowered MSRPs on some of their core models, and we're hearing rumblings of other manufacturers doing the same. You're seeing incentive step-ups to get the demand where we need it on some of these models, and I think that that's going to have an overall impact because you're going to see that used car number, you know, come down appropriately.
Yeah, sure. The acquisition of used vehicles by dealers changed a little bit through COVID, where everyone switched their advertising to saying, hey, we want to buy your car, you know, kind of even if you don't buy ours, kind of the CarMax way. And many dealers succeeded at that. Were you one of those groups that said, we'll buy that car right off the street? And does that still exist today?
Absolutely. We've always been under that mindset. We're very used oriented as a group. And we've been pushing, you know, ways to acquire vehicles at our doorstep for quite some time, and it definitely, we saw during COVID that it definitely was elevated. You know, people were coming in to sell us their car more so, and that's something that we work really hard at.
Yeah, for sure. And so that's a mainstay with your group. I mean, that's something that's going to continue. And
yeah, we'll buy yours whether you buy ours or not.
Sure.
Yeah.
What percentage of the vehicles, if you don't mind me asking, of the vehicles that you acquire in a month, what percentage come off the road?
You know, it's I don't have a hard stat to give you on that, but I do know that with the vehicles that we make offers on, we do have a fair amount of success of being able to conquest them into our store. I don't have the hard percentage, but I know that number seems to be climbing, depending upon how well we can perform as a dealer with, you know, putting the customer through the process.
Sure. A number of dealer groups that I've spoken to said they make that offer on as many cars as they can in the service department, right in the service drive that says.
Correct. We do the same.
A certain. Do you do the same thing?
We
Where
do.
Everybody leaves basically with an offer on their car, or at least a number.
Sure. We try to promote that in all of our stores. To see, you never know where someone's level of interest is lying at that moment in time.
Sure.
They might be in for tires, but they might be thinking about trading.
That's right. That's right. Switching gears a little bit, how does the Nucar operation look? What are you seeing there? Are the inventory levels? Obviously, we're seeing new cars, hit the lot and stay a little bit longer than they did maybe this time last year. I would assume that's the same for you.
Definitely seeing that. It feels, I'm 52 years old. I've been in the business since I was 17, so I've been around a hot minute. And it definitely starts to feel like it's normalizing. Like we're feeling like inventories are normalizing, margins, et cetera. So there's no question that we're watching inventory levels rise, and we're seeing manufacturers react. We're starting to see incentives as we head into this month where we weren't seeing those before. Yeah. So I definitely feel like we're back into a period of normalcy for what we're, compared to what we've been used to.
That's right. You mentioned how long you've been in the business. I've been in the business a long time as well. And we've even seen high rates. We saw rates way higher than what we're looking at today, right?
Sure
but
have.
that being said, what kind of an impact has the current rate structure had in your business?
It's interesting. It hasn't so much slowed down our volume, but it's definitely a topic. And I think it's definitely something where we're seeing, the consumers coming in are more, it's more of a topic. I guess I'd put it to you that way, where there's more sensitivity to rate.
Sure.
And certainly as rates have gone up, it's, affordability gets challenged, when your money's not being stretched as far. So I think we were in a market where we just enjoyed such a low rate environment for so long. Yeah. I think all of us were a bit spoiled.
Boy, that's the truth. When we look back at those 2-3% rates, we're like, oh my gosh,
exactly.
we didn't realize how great we had it.
Exactly.
I don't know. Yes. It might take another, 9/11 or something. God, I shouldn't even say that. To have the rates come back down, that low, or it's amazing how these events here in the U.S. something happens, whether it be COVID or 9/11 or whatever, and all of a sudden the Fed just goes, okay, we got to stimulate business. Let's bring these rates down. But I don't know that we're ever going to see, a 2% or a 1.5% rate anymore, right?
Yeah, I think the market we just came out of with the low rates, with COVID, with supply chain issues. I don't know if I'll live it long enough to ever see a moment like that again in our history. That was all unprecedented. Yeah. All of it,
Yeah. So on the leasing side, the Northeast is typically a pretty strong lease market.
It is.
I don't know if that's the same for you in your stores, but has that come back? Is it coming back? Are the subvented programs there from the manufacturers to make leases more favorable, or where does that stand?
Leasing is definitely a priority. Mm-hmm. And it's something that, to your point, the Northeast does extremely well with leasing. Yeah. We have huge lease portfolios in our stores, and to see those rebound is great. And yes, we're definitely seeing impact from the manufacturers in there, and a lot of it is lease driven.
That's great. It makes sense with the average price of a new car being almost $50,000. It would seem leasing is a perfect alternative or a perfect solution to those consumers coming in, with a little bit of sticker shock, but still being able to get them in a payment that is at least livable, right?
Agreed. We see, we're seeing a lot of that. As we move into the selling season, we're definitely seeing a lot of that.
Sure. You guys have got some 20 plus stores now, right, in the chain. Any plans for acquisitions in 2024?
Yeah, I'm sitting in a Ford dealership today that we're cling on tomorrow.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
So, and our aspirations are definitely to grow the footprint. We've got some things cooking currently that we're working on. So I think we're on the move. Nucar is definitely on the move and looking to acquire stores.
Yeah, it's a great name, that's for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate all of the time that you've given us, Shawn. Congratulations on the closing of that deal that you're sitting in there, and of course the used car superstore. Love to do a follow-up with you to see how things are moving along.
That's great. I appreciate you giving us the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.